All right, Shalom, Yahshua Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. It's the brother Ash Ibad. And in this video, I'm basically going to be addressing, does Yahawah share his glory with Yahawashi? And this video is essentially inspired based off of, just the comment section, comments I've been seeing, especially from this one dude, quote unquote, Old Testament only dude, scoffer, non-believer. Essentially, he was bringing a lot of arguments, a lot of strife back and forth, because essentially he was telling brothers, if you believe in Yahawashi, you're an idol worshiper. You follow after a graven image. You don't understand the Bible. You're breaking the first 3 commandments, bringing a lot of hullabaloo. And, brothers had to get on him because, look, every man is entitled to his own opinion. But essentially, when people talk down, disrespect Yahawashi, you're basically disrespecting the king of Israel in the fleshy realm. You see, a lot of these brothers don't really understand the role of Yahawashi. If you ever look at an Old Testament only Israelite, what they oftentimes do is they can't contextualize the fact that though Yahawashi is a spiritual being, he's not the Most High. You oftentimes see them say, oh, you're trying to place him on the same level as the Most High. Oh, you're praying to him. Just like how we look at how Christians, because Christians will literally say that Yahawashi is Yahweh. They don't obviously call on those names. They say Jesus is God, God is Jesus. We do not say that same thing. We all understand that Yahweh is the supreme overlord of all things, because Yahawashi came from him. He was created after him. So how could he be on his level? It doesn't make any sense. We all understand that. But when they see and they talk about and they read in the scriptures, they can't seem to fathom that Yahawashi is a spiritual being, but he's not on the same level as his father. So I wanted to break it down. So this is the book of Isaiah 42, because one brother, he specifically brought out this specific verse in verse 8. Let's read it. It says, I am Yahawah, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. And this is basically the Most High Yahweh speaking unto his nation, saying, look, this is who I am. This is my name. And the glory that you're going to give unto me, your supreme God, you're not going to give it to any other gods. So a lot of times when they'll read that, they'll say, well, why in the New Testament does Yahawashi say this? Let's go to the book of John chapter 17. All right, so I'm actually start at verse 18. It says, this is Yahawashi talking to the Most High Yahweh. It says, as you have sent me into the world, even so have I also sent them into the world. Speaking of his disciples, his believers. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also may be sanctified through the truth. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, that they all may be one, as you, Father, are in me and I in you, that they may be one in us, that the world may believe that you have sent me. In verse 22, this is key right here. It says, in the glory which you gave us me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. So basically, brothers will see in verse 22 where it says, in the glory which you gave us me, I have given them. And they'll say, oh, see, look, bro, look. Oh, it's literally saying, he's saying that the Most High is giving his glory, meaning he's sharing his glory. Again, when you read it in context, you have to understand the Most High always gives a certain level of honor and prestige unto the men that he's worked with. Point blank, period. If you can't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you, because even the scriptures say that the Most High is going to redeem the elect, that they're going to be honored and revered, and they're going to receive some form of glory because Yahweh is going to restore the nation. Just because Yahweh gives somebody glory doesn't mean he takes away his own glory to give to somebody else, because his glory is on a whole nother level. When I seen this video, I'm gonna probably do a video on it. There's a dude on TikTok who literally said he would pray to Baal and he would thank Baal for all the blessings that he's gotten. Essentially, when that man prayed, and he's an Israelite, most likely, allegedly, but he's more than likely a Jake, he was praying to Baal, giving all the glory to Baal. Baal took the place of the Heavenly Father, which is, when you go back to Isaiah 42, that's what that's talking about. When you say Luciferian saying, I want to thank God, they're putting Baal on the level of the Most High, which is complete blasphemy. You know what I'm saying? When Jakes were in the forest while Moses on Mount Sinai, they built the calves and they prayed and they followed after the ways of the gods of that golden calf. They were blaspheming the Most High and placing those calves or whatever it was on the level and associating what the Most High gave unto them to those specific graven images, which was idolatry. The main difference between what we speak about, how the Most High gave glory to Yahawashi, which is similar to him giving glory to Solomon, giving glory to David, is that we're not placing any of those people on the level of the Most High. And I'm going to prove it to you. So we're going to go to the book of Sirach, chapter 47, first and foremost, and speak about David. Because a lot of y'all like to say David is going to be that king. Well, let's see what the Most High said about David. Book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 47. And if you brothers read, you're going to see there's a lot of extras talking about the famous men that the Most High worked through to build up Israel, right? So I want to start at verse 4. This is talking about David. It says, I'll read verse 5. It says, "For he called upon the Most High, and he gave him strength in his right hand to slay that mighty warrior, and set up the horn of his people," meaning the rulership of his people. Verse 6. "So the people honored him with 10,000s and praised him in the blessings of Yahawah." So what did they do? They honored him as a great king, a mighty warrior, and they praised him, right? Now read this. It says, "In that he gave him a crown of glory." So the Most High gave David a what? A crown of glory, to the point where the people knew that the Most High was working through David, that they venerated him, meaning what? They had a deep showing of respect and they submitted unto his will because they knew that the Most High was working through him. What's the difference between what David was doing compared to what Yahawashi is doing? And a lot of y'all's like, no, that's not the same thing, bro. Well, let's go take another aspect. We're gonna go to the book of First Chronicles, chapter 24. Now we're gonna go to the book of First Chronicles, chapter 29. Now this is when y'all brothers, I'm sure y'all brothers read, this is when David essentially transferred his rulership unto his son Solomon. We know Solomon was one of the greatest kings to ever live, especially in the nation of Israel. And his rulership was a foreshadowing of the rulership that Yahawashi was going to have in the kingdom. So I'm going to read verse 18. First Chronicles 29 and 18. It says, "O Yahawah, God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, our fathers, keep this forever in the imagination of the thoughts of the heart of thy people, and prepare their heart unto thee, and give unto Solomon my son a perfect heart to keep your commandments, thy testimonies, and thy statutes, and to do all these things, and to build the palace for the which I have made provision." Now this key verse 20, it says, "And David said to all the congregation, Now bless Yahawah your God. And all the congregation blessed Yahawah, God of their fathers, and bowed down their heads and worshiped Yahawah and the king." Now look at that. Look at the context. All the people bowed their heads and they worshiped Yahawah. Why? Because he was the supreme ruler of the entire universe, the heavens, the seas, things like that. But what did they also do? It says they also worshiped the king. Now look, the term worship doesn't mean the same context as what the Most High's worship was compared to this. Now worship, again, worship can also mean reverence. When we go to the term worship, right? Salaki, I pressed the wrong button. Let's go back down. Salaki. So we'll go to verse 20, and we'll go to the concordance, whatever it's called, and we're gonna hit the number on the left. So worship, right? To bow down, to prostrate oneself before superior in the homage, before Yahawah in worship, before false gods, before angels. So we understand this is the first definition, verse letter A, before superior in homage. Why? Because Solomon was a ruler above the people. And just like when brothers go to the book of First Corinthians and we pull this out and we tell you the order, and we're like, oh, that's not true. Let's actually bring it out. All right, so this is 1 Corinthians 11 and 1. It says, "Be ye followers of me, even as I am also of Hamashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I deliver them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahawah." So just like when you go back to 1 Chronicles 29, where it says the people worshiped Yahawah and they greatly revered Solomon, it's the same exact thing, because in that time the people went to Solomon because he was the great judge of matters. Well, in this time, not in this time, but from the time when Yahawashi was established on the scene to be that holy mediator from the people to the Most High, you had to go through Yahawashi to get to the Heavenly Father. But again, a lot of these dudes do not really understand what they're reading, and they take things out of context. Again, when you go to Yahawashi, because he's the head of the people, before you get to the Most High, there's no blasphemy in that. Because the same role that David had, Solomon had, is the same role that Yahawashi had. It's just that Yahawashi, he was resurrected to be that spiritual mediator. And nobody else has gotten that position, because essentially Yahawashi was the perfect servant. When you read in Isaiah 42, it literally talks about him before that. So when we go back to Isaiah 42:1, it says, Yahweh's promise concerning his servant. I don't have to read the entire thing, but I do want to read verse 5. It says, Thus saith Yahweh, he that created the heavens and stretched them out, he that spreadeth forth the earth and that which cometh out of it. He giveth breath unto the people upon it, and spirit to them that walk therein. I, Yahweh, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light to the Gentiles. It's not talking about David. It's talking about the servant from the seed line of David, which would be Yahawashi. It says to open the blind, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. I am Yahweh, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. So again, understanding that Yahweh is letting you know his position will never change, and you can never give his position to a false god. But at the same time, he would send a servant who would come in his same spirit, in a similar likeness, who would execute his judgments, just like how he did with Joshua when they were going into the land, just as he did with Moses when we left out of Egypt and went into the wilderness. It's simple, man. Sometimes you will find certain stumbling blocks in the scriptures that make you think something is false when in actuality it's true, but you have to have faith. You have to not get very angsty, and you got to pray that the Most High is giving you the understanding. Because when I see brothers like that talking big shit about this and that about Yahawashi, I don't really got to say much. We're going to see who's right soon enough. But in order for the Bible to be established, there has to be somebody who came after David, who was the fulfiller of prophecy. Because if not, there's so many prophecies that haven't been fulfilled that unless you just twisting the scriptures, you bringing these crazy connotations of the scriptures, there's going to be too many things missing in order for the Bible to be fulfilled. And I want to ask you, any New Testament only brothers, do you believe in the MOTB, the mark of the beast? Because by your logic, you're saying that there is no MOTB that's going to be set up. So once the MOTBs get set up, are you brothers going to repent? Are you brothers going to deny it? Are you brothers going to take it? Lord forbid, but are you brothers going to take it? Because there's a lot of things that's happening right now that were prophesied in the New Testament. Point blank, period. However you want to spin it. But anyways, getting back onto this. Another thing I also want to establish is, as well as with Moses, because again, Moses was the prophet who Yahawashi was a likened unto. And there's one specific verse where the Most High gives some sort of glory, not his divine glory, but resonance of Yahweh's glory, that the people, when they saw it, they were like, okay, the Most High is definitely dealing with Moses. Let's go back to Exodus, and we'll go to verse 34, chapter 34, Salaki. All right, so this is the book of Exodus 34:27. It says, And Yahweh said unto Moses, Write these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. And he was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water. And he wrote upon the tables the word of the covenant, the 10 commandments. And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moses's was not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him. So essentially Moses's face was shining with a great and majestic light. Verse 30, it says, And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. So essentially some of Yahweh's glory from him bestowing the 10 commandments on Mount Sinai shone upon Moses. It was like a resonance, allowing people to see that Yahweh was working with him, was working through him at that moment. And there's nothing foreign about that concept. There's nothing new about that concept. Even when you look at how the Most High is going to restore his people, he is going to give us glory. It's going to be bestowed upon us from him, but it's not going to take away his position. In fact, the Most High always uses Israel to establish his glory. So there's nothing foreign about this concept. We'll go to Isaiah 62 to prove it. All right, so this is Isaiah 62, Zion's glory and new name, verse 1. It says, "For Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest, until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. And the Gentiles shall see your righteousness, and all kings your glory. And ye shall be called by a new name, which the mouth of Yahweh shall name. You shall also be as a crown of glory in the hand of Yahweh, and a royal diadem in the hand of thy power. You shall no more be termed forsaken, neither shall thy land more be termed desolate, but you shall be called Hephzibah, and thy land Beulah, for Yahweh delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married." And I don't want to keep reading the entire chapter, but y'all brothers can read it on your own. But you see as well, Yahweh's going to give glory. He's going to give a specific amount of prestige and reverence and honor that the other nations are going to look at us as celestial beings, as gods to a certain extent, not as gods as in the power of Yahweh. But even in the scriptures, it says the Most High said, "Are ye not? Ye are gods. You are gods on earth. You are judges." You see what I'm saying? Because you hold the understanding of the divine law. The Most High doesn't work through anybody. So essentially, doesn't work through anybody else except Israel. Salakia. That's what I meant to say. He doesn't work through anybody, no other nation except for Israel. So when you understand that, if you're given a celestial body, the other nations have to come unto you. They're going to have a great reverence and a great reverence for you, because they understand that the Most High is not going to them. They have to go through you in order to find the law of the Most High. We go to Yahawah. Yahawah goes to the Father. Point blank, period. It's simple. It's never changed, and it's not going to change. So essentially, when you go back, let's go back to the book of John and explain the context of it. So John 17:22, it says, "And the glory which you gave with me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one." Essentially, the glory that Yahweh, the power and the promises that Yahweh bestowed unto his son, he essentially gave that as well to his followers, to his apostles, to his disciples, etc., etc. So essentially, they were given the promise, they were given the renewed covenant, so that way they can also have the same glory that Yahawah was fulfilling himself, right? So continuing on, it says that they may be one, even as we are in one. Meaning what? That we will move on one accord with the Heavenly Father. Just like how Yahawah moves on one accord with Yahweh. Not that he is Yahweh, that's blasphemy, but that he moves as one. They're two swords on the same blade, meaning Yahawah does the things pleasing unto the Most High, and he moves in the way that Yahweh will want us to move perfectly, right? Just like how those of us who are of the elect, again, we don't know for certain, but those of us who are of the elect, we are going to do the things pleasing unto Yahweh. And what is he going to do? He's going to glorify us in return. And I'm laughing because it's just funny, dog, because a lot of these dudes like to come at Yahawah's neck, not realizing how stupid they look. Let's go to the book of Matthew, and we're going to go to chapter 13. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is just to understand, for those of y'all brothers, y'all obviously understand this, but Yahawah did not receive any glory. He did not receive any reverence as what his role was. Now, yes, some people did see who Yahawah was, and that's why when y'all brothers read about the transfiguration, where Yahawah essentially showed, I forgot who he showed. I think it was Peter, John, and I think James, his brother, the transfiguration. He had asked them, "Who do you believe I am?" And then he had asked them, "Who do you believe I am?" Or who do the people believe I am? Some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, some say the son of David. And he said, "Well, what do you think that I am?" And he said, "The son of Yahweh." Basically, he was asking them, do you understand my true role? Because most people on the earth didn't understand his true role, which is why they oftentimes overlooked him, which is exactly what happened right here. This is Matthew 13:53. It says, "And it came to pass that when Yahawah finished these parables, he departed there. And when he was coming to his own country, he taught in the synagogue. And so as much that it were astonished and said, where hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, his brethren James and Joseph and Simon and Judas and his sisters? Are they not all with us? When then hath this man all these things?" And they were offended in him. Why? Because when Yahawah established himself and showed him to be a great man of valor and a great spirit of wisdom, people denied him and couldn't believe it. And essentially they didn't give him the respect as him being the ruler who would have the everlasting kingdom inherited to him from Yahawah. Because that's a great role. And when y'all brothers even think about it, you're like, damn. Like you can't even really compare to it. You gotta, it's just like if you brothers was on like a basketball team, right? You know, you put up 15, you put up 20, you put up 30. But when the going gets tough and you see a great player like Giannis or Kawhi or LeBron dropping 50, 60, you like, hey bro, I'm good. But he on a whole nother level. That's essentially what Yahawah was letting people know, because he was the Most High's holy son. But people didn't see it that way. People didn't see him in his fullness. Let's go to the book of Matthew chapter 21, because even before Yahawah passed away, the disciples who would become the apostles, they put him in his robe. So this is Matthew 21:1. It says, and when they drew near unto Jerusalem and were come to Bethphage upon the Mount of Olives, then sent Yahawah 2 disciples, saying unto them, go into the village over against you, and straightway you shall find an ass or a donkey tied and a colt with her. Loose them and bring them unto me. If any man say unto you, you shall say, the Lord hath need of them, and straightway he will send thee. And all this was done that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. Tell you the daughter of Zion, behold, the king cometh unto thee, meek, and sitting upon a ass, and a colt the foal of an ass. And the disciples went and did as Yahawah commanded them, and brought the ass and the colt, and put on them their clothes, and set him thereupon. And that was symbolic to show that Yahawah was that great ruler riding upon the donkey. It fulfilled prophecy. We'll go to Zephaniah real quick. Zechariah. So this is Zechariah 9:9. It says, rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion, meaning the nation. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt the foal of an ass. And I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the horse from Jerusalem. And the battle shall be cut off, and he shall speak peace unto the heathen. And his dominion shall be sea even to sea, and from the river even to the ends of the earth. And again, that wasn't fulfilled by David. It was literally fulfilled by Yahawah to show you that that was his ruler. If you had the spirit of meekness, and if you could understand who he was and who he was sent to be, not some, great, super rich, divine, super rich, super powerful, mighty king, but a lowly king, so that people could follow in his stead and essentially worship the Most High in spirit and in truth, because the Most High had already sent kings who were great and mighty. Look at Solomon. What happened with Solomon? He didn't make it. He didn't move in the works properly, but Yahawah did. So that's essentially what Yahawah was talking about. So just going back to John 17:22, and it says, and the glory which you gave me I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. All he's talking about is that essentially the Most High would give him the glory that he deserved, being the Most High's holy son, right? So essentially, that's all that's talking about. Verse 24, this is the verse I think they was talking about. Father, I will that they also, whom you have given me, be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory, which you have given me. Meaning what? The Most High gave him that glory. So essentially, if the Son is glorified, it's just a symbol that Yahawah is glorified. Because at the end of the day, if David is glorified, and people know that the Most High is working through David, the people are going to worship the Most High, because they understand that David was their king and that the Most High is working with them. He's dealing with them. So they're going to give praises unto the Most High. The Most High oftentimes shows his power and his might through what he does with many of his men. You know what I'm saying? His prophets, his kings, etc., etc. So this is not a foreign concept. And Yahawah doesn't take away the glory of the Father, because oftentimes the Most High will use his Son to glorify himself, just like the Most High is going to use the nation of Israel to glorify himself when people see the great and majestic works that he's going to do when he restores us from last to first, point blank, period. So I give all praises to the Most High, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Till next time, it's the brother Ibad signing out.